Alright, I'll call this meeting of the Lake County E911 Authority to order at 10:05 on January 3rd, 2025. And does anyone have any changes to the agenda? Alright, hearing no changes to the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Alright, any further discussion? Okay. Alright, hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, the agenda is approved. Alright, we'll move on to public comment. You get no more than 3 minutes, Michael.
Okay, thank you very much. I just have a suggestion,
Okay, what you got?
for the dispatchers,
Mhm.
when they're trying to get a hold of Public Works, just like they do with other EMSs, that they page us out first,
Okay,
and because I do have somebody on call 24 hours a day with a pager
mhm,
that works on the VHF system, so they will get paged. If they do not respond in 15 minutes, then call me,
okay,
but I shouldn't get a phone call first to have me call somebody else out.
okay,
That's all I'm saying.
got it.
I mean, they don't call you to dispatch a deputy, I don't think.
There's been times. There's been times. No, that makes sense. Cool.
What was the other thing? Wasn't there something that we?
Well, we were talking about trip yesterday, not knowing what's going on, if there's some emergency going on. And we get paged out to go to that place and don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Because that happened with Lacombe.
I know it wasn't during,
With which one?
It was 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
When we switched?
No,
She was shot. The guy was on the loose with a gun and they had our guys down there trying to stop traffic.
which is fine,
Mhm.
But
it's that we got
nobody knew about the
not
gun.
right in the middle of everything, didn't know that we should have been back further.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even know where the guy was at that point.
Okay. Chief, I think you and I can continue that conversation about because it's just law enforcement, it's on the encrypted channel.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't always a thing.
yeah, I think that, first responders, all first responders should have, access to that, that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, we're going in the blind. I know that you have your own, specifics that we don't need to know about. But when it pertains to life safety aspects, we really truly are going in on the blind, and I think it's a safety concern, so, I don't know how everybody feels about that, but that's just how I feel.
I wonder, so dispatch has the ability, now we have our own frequency we communicate on, encrypted. But dispatch has the ability to easily communicate with every entity that's involved in
We
this, right?
usually go to command and then dispatch.
Command, that's something I just heard a few days ago, we have the ability to go to command. And I'm just wondering if the officers that are out there just need to be more mindful of the information we need to get to others.
Yeah, and maybe that's just it, is just
Yeah.
get the information out as other people are dispatched. So we know, hey, don't go here, or stay back, or
Right.
go to a staging area here, and then we'll let you know when to move in, that you can move closer or whatever.
Yeah, and if, somebody's on the run, we got equipment all over the place. They can look for things.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess we can talk about that more. Cause I like encryption, but I don't.
Right, yeah. Yeah, stuff with from the law enforcement on the encrypted channel, they're already knee deep, waist deep into the call, and then when we switch to command, it's easy to let that wherewithal go and not communicate that information to other first responders. But yeah, okay. I think we should open that conversation back up.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
Sheriff, I would be all for opening that conversation back up. I was talking with Paul about that the other day.
Okay, great. Yeah, we can work, Chief Trelka and I can work on that. together, and then we can bring it back to this board. Cool. All right, we'll move on to, director reports. And, I have nothing, outside what's being discussed today. Chief Daly,
I don't either.
Claire?
Just so we don't have to get too deep into it with other conversations, just an update on the radio tower project. Both OPSC and Farrell have been up at the site working on the generator. It is now set up to automatically test every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And OPSC is doing a little bit more work on the site, but that is actually making progress, which is great.
Nice, we have fuel up there.
Don't know,
Loaded?
they have not told me that, I just know the generator test at 10 a.m.
Who's gonna service that generator?
OPSC, yeah, that generator belongs to the state, so it's their responsibility to maintain it. We just
so that
provide-
we know.
Yeah, we just provide the propane.
So you know, we just signed up to, get one down here service all the time again for the next year.
That's cool.
And also the EOC.
Perfect.
I'll look at that.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'll cover everything else in budget.
Jeremiah?
Hey, nothing from me.
Chief?
Let's see, is the hiring of the new dispatcher on the agenda, or?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, we can talk about that on, just our current operation
Gotcha.
topics, I think recruitment and retention,
Gotcha,
we can bring that up.
that's it.
Cool. All right, move on to our,
Paula, do you have anything?
I know the tower, not the tower, the backhaul. Getting an update on that, so that should be going, because we're gonna be, I don't know if you've seen it or not, the MCE 7500s.
Yeah.
At the end of the month are coming in. And
sooner,
please let all that work.
yeah. Yep, and I have that on our agenda too,
Okay,
to talk
then,
about that.
yeah.
Okay,
Paula,
thanks.
did the internet get fixed?
What was that?
Did the internet get fixed?
Yes.
Okay.
Wednesday night, we were
Perfect.
up and running.
6 days. Okay. All right. We'll move on to a new business. First one is item A is discussion regarding the generation of incident numbers and the potential to simply utilize a status change in lieu of incident number generation. Chief Trelka.
I don't know if that's even possible, but what I noticed is, I was working a case involving the school, and when I would go out on follow-up, new incident numbers were being generated. And if I would have known my incident number, I probably could have given it to dispatch and just attached it, but I couldn't remember the number. And I also noticed when officers and deputies go out on business checks or on foot patrol, it generates an incident number, and I'm just wondering if that's necessary, or if a status change is even possible.
I could change it.
Okay.
And I just want everyone's feedback from you too, which ones you want to generate automatically
Uh-huh,
and ones that you don't. I already marked some that I thought didn't need that, but for whatever reason, everything that we put in there was generating an incident number. And now my dispatchers know also though that they make it inactive instead of it being active. If that makes sense, so if it's inactive, as soon as we close out that thing, it should not go to you.
gotcha. Okay. Cause the one fear I have, I mean, we're both small agencies, we're charging basically, we're paying for dispatch to an incident number and by geography. Let's say we have a new deputy who's super aggressive.
Right.
The sheriff's office is gonna get unfairly charged for incidents that are simply a foot patrol or whatever. So, if we're all, if we're all consistent, it's fair. But, and it just seemed like unnecessary work for the dispatchers, and
So
it
maybe
might,
we still create that incident number and just leave it as inactive, so you don't have to do a report then.
yeah, okay.
Does that sound better?
Well, what about, so with his example of follow-up work, And that shouldn't, I feel like that shouldn't recreate a new incident number, that should just reopen an old one.
If we know it, we
Oh.
can reopen.
But can you
But
just,
we have to know what you're going out on. Sometimes it's just, they just say follow up.
so maybe the call should be follow up on,
Yeah, on the number.
even if you don't have the number, they can look for it, right?
Something to help us to get there.
Okay, cause the case I was working was a school threat, so if I simply would have said follow up on the school threats, that would have been good enough?
Either that or a date, school threat on 12/1.
Gotcha, okay.
That would, we know to go look on 12/1 for school threat.
And that wouldn't recreate a new incident,
No,
right?
we could just open it up
Open
and put
back
those
up.
notes on there.
I think that would be helpful because,
Everything should be kept together anyway.
mhm,
If you haven't closed that case and you're still doing follow-up, everything should stay on that case.
The direction I'll give the officers is if you're going out on follow-up, reference the case report number that you're following up on.
mhm. Yeah, and that should reduce the amount of calls that are being attached.
Actually, we can't look up by case number.
Oh,
They give us an
Well, you
ID.
can.
So it's more helpful if you know the date and what it was.
alright,
I don't know why we can't look up on dispatch case number, I don't know why, but I will ask and I'll find out, see if we can have access to that.
yeah, that's odd.
It is odd, like, it's weird, they give us a case ID number, like a 4-digit number. So I don't know why.
Alright, that's more clear. How about if an office, okay, you explained how it would work better if an officer goes out on foot patrol downtown, or I hear deputies doing business checks at Safeway.
Mhm.
And you've got a plan for that.
Yeah,
How does that look?
so we'll just put them on that business check, but everything when we close it out, it's inactive. It's like it's being tracked, but there's nothing that has to happen with it.
Gotcha, okay. It's all of us learning together with Flex.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
And I think to the point of how calls are divvied out and charged at the end of the year, you know, I think if a deputy would open up a business check within the city limits,
Mm-hmm.
and if we're just basing this off a jurisdiction, that becomes a city call.
Yep,
And same with Safeway, if a PD officer goes to Safeway to do a business check, that creates a county call for that, you know, would go towards.
and maybe if they're just picking up lunch, maybe it's not a business check,
mm-hmm.
but yet when you go in there, people always stop you, you know,
What if an officer's, cause I did this yesterday, I simply said, I'm gonna be out on Portable. Downtown is what I said,
Mhm.
and I didn't check to see if that generated but that's,
That's a status, that's.
yeah,
kind of
that's a
what-
status
yeah.
change.
Yeah, what do you know, how would you deal with that if he said those words over the radio?
I would put it in as foot patrol.
Foot patrol, so that would create an ID number.
It would,
Mhm.
because you're still interacting, right?
Right, yeah.
And if you interact with somebody and it turns into something more,
Mm-hmm.
That's what
you need
started.
something, right?
Yeah,
Well, I'd say it's incumbent upon the officer or deputies to, if, let's say I'm out on foot patrol and I'm gonna be out with two people arguing,
Mhm.
then that should generate an incident number.
And
That's
that,
separate,
and that
right?
is, yeah, and then that's when we would change that foot patrol to something else or leave it and document it, and then it would be an active case for you.
Cause shoot from the hip here, I'd say, if we activate our body camera, that generates an incident number. If we don't
Yes.
activate our body camera, it doesn't generate an incident number.
Mhm.
Cause if I'm on foot patrol, I'm not,
But we don't know that though. If you're activating your camera, we don't know.
but generally, I mean, if I call out with two people arguing, that's an incident where I generate my body camera. And yesterday when I was out on the foot patrol, cause I went into the hat.
Oh,
And I thought, okay, cause I've had some issues in there before, so when I walked in, I turned on the camera.
No way.
But I didn't call it out.
oh,
So it wouldn't need it, okay. Okay. Alright, that's more clear now.
but we could talk further about it and discuss
Yeah.
things if you guys want and how
Yeah,
what
I
better
think-
suits.
It's, I feel like that's it's a law enforcement specific
Yeah.
topic to discuss.
Yeah.
Um,
That's probably something you, I and Paula could,
yeah, I
Discuss
think it'd be
further.
good.
would that be considered a quorum? I guess it would be, well, no, I mean, no, I'm thinking too much like an elected official now. And we only have one of those here, I guess. Yes.
Why are you looking at me?
But that was a serious question, because I mean, with transparency in society, those are things we need to think about.
100%. Any other thoughts or ideas,
Nope.
anybody else? Alright, we'll move on to item B then, updates and discussions on current operations and topics. And so this is based off of the November 21st meeting, I believe, where we kind of assigned some tasks and big ticket items. And who from the board would be helping Paula and dispatch, and hopefully it's going well so far. We can also add into this discussion if we need to make any adjustments. If things aren't that important or they're very important and we're not adding them to this, more or less help, whatever, we can keep that as part of the rolling discussion to tune this and until we're fully staffed. But yeah, moving into it, the first item was training related. Chief Daly stepped up and said he'd help out, so what do you got for us?
Well, in last meeting, I discussed about going over to Summit County and meeting with Ann, their training supervisor. She requested if we could send her our material as well, the material that you sent me, but I know that I needed access for that. Remember you had to.
I shared it with you, right? And I did give you access.
Yeah, you gave me access, but if I forward that information over to her, is she gonna still need the same access, or?
I'm not sure because I don't know how you're gonna send it, so you could share it with her and if she does, that's fine. You can
Okay.
give her access.
Okay, great. One of the things, I didn't get much done because of the holidays. I'm just collecting information right now so that I can, be thoughtful about how we put a packet together or what my next steps will be. Kind of setting up some objectives here, but what I need, Paula, I know that you're like the kind of the training officer currently right now, right? You're the only one. I need somebody else within the dispatch center in order to be able to attach this program to, so that I have an additional person to contact. Somebody who wants to have buy-in, somebody that wants to, be able to create something within the agency itself and something to be proud of. Do you know somebody in mind right now that I could connect
I
with?
have Mary or Daniela. They're pretty gung ho and I am gonna send them to training in February for CTO, or communications training officer. So gonna see how we can make that work to send them, cause I think it's very beneficial.
When are you gonna send them?
It's in February and it's in Colorado Springs.
And what's it called?
CTO, communications training officer.
Is it specific for communication?
It's specific to communications.
Can you send me that information?
Mhm.
I may attend that as well.
Okay, I think that would be awesome.
So are you saying Mary and Daniela, or are you saying Mary or Daniela?
It's kinda nice to have two, because you can't keep everybody if they go on vacation or whatever. It's always nice for a backup also. Or something that happens if they work nights, if they work days, there's always someone there, as to where I can't be 24/7. So they both expressed interest in it and they both wanna do it. And I figure if we can, why not have two? Cause we're getting more staff and it would just, I think it's better.
What are their hours? Are they kind of just all over the place, or
Mary
when's the
just
best?
went to nights. She's starting nights on Monday, this Monday coming up. And Daniela is
And
back
that,
in.
those hours are what, I'm sorry?
Monday nights are 4:45 to 5 in the morning, Sunday through every other Wednesday. And Daniela is every other Wednesday through Saturday from 4:45 AM to 5 PM.
sorry, I'm taking notes here.
No, it's okay.
Danielle, every other Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
and she's from what?
4:45 AM to 5 PM.
They're on the same side of the week.
They're opposite.
Opposite.
Which is good.
That is good, and you can always contact someone.
So one last question about that, if they get the CTO and they start becoming trainers, is there a pay differential for that?
Yes.
Okay, and how much is that?
3%.
It's a 3% increase on their salary?
How long have they been employed?
Mary is 2 years, Daniela is 1.5.
Don't look at me.
So I think that's all that I have. I'm gonna try to connect with them somehow and just kind of sit down and have a good
And if you wanna come
conversation.
in here when they're here, and you wanna just talk to them or whatever, I could cover dispatch. And
Where, in here?
No,
Oh,
in dispatch, if they're working or whatever,
Okay,
you know, or Mary could come in a half hour early or 45 minutes early before her shift, you know, or whatever, we'll accommodate.
okay, sounds good. Can you, send me their emails?
Mhm.
Last thing, off topic, just real quick, I know there's a connectivity situation. I see that you're talking with, Captain Selesky about that. And you guys are in contact about, how our image train connects with. So, and I think that's a training thing as well. And there'll be a lot more follow-up with all that, so if we can't, I don't know where the, the disconnect is.
They have a meeting today,
What's that?
they have a meeting today.
They do, I saw it, well, I saw it before the internet went out, but I'm not.
She was on vacation,
Oh,
Colleen was on vacation.
gotcha, okay.
Yeah, so now she connected and everybody's connected. With what they have to do, yeah, that's why
Okay,
she was,
cause it was, cause Dan on our side, IT says that there's already connection and there's an error that's being thrown. So we have to figure out what that is, what that problem is. Do you know what that problem might be?
it might have been because of the internet.
Is that all related to the problems we had the past few
It
days?
probably, we've been down since last Friday, we just got up Wednesday night. So it was an internet, like we couldn't access nothing, nothing,
And that went up today?
Wednesday night.
It went up
So I don't know when
Wednesday
they
night.
tried or what they did, but it might have been because of that.
Okay.
Is that also connected to, cause I know New Year's Eve day, when we were at the hospital, when I would try to call dispatch, all I got was a busy signal.
The phone lines were down and that's intermittently, it keeps on happening, I need call service people to be here because they need to come and look at the hardware that they have installed. So I did show it to Travis when he was here and he said definitely, he goes, I would, this orange light, cause I showed him where everything was and he says, yeah, I would definitely call them and have them come in and look at that, that's concerning. And I said, okay,
Gotcha, okay.
cause he can't touch their stuff, so.
Cause it seems like that's happening regularly, but if council members are contacting me and say, hey, how come the regular phone lines keep going down?
We're working on it, trying to get people here.
I figured just, yeah,
And I guess the last comment that I have is, looking at the material, there's not much difference between, you know, the phases that they have and the blocks that you know, our current dispatch goes through. But there's additional information that we don't have that they do. It's kind of like like a practical situation at the very end, right? You set up a scenario for a dispatcher and then there's documentation that goes with that and there's certain areas that they have to physically and, you know, everything that they have to like go from beginning to end to a call, something simple, probably mid-grade, and then something that's, you know, pretty extensive, so that's something that I would really like to be able to incorporate so that we can really, you know, evaluate them at the very end for that proficiency. So, that's what I wanna work with Mary and Danielle and with you about is how do we incorporate some greater things that we currently have? Now, do we stay with the same formatting that we have? Sure, we'll compare the two. It looks like it's pretty comparable.
They probably went with APCO standards, and that's probably what we went with also. If I look at it, I can tell you.
Okay, great, yeah. So, overall, I think it's just some additional things that we can add and then we can get a packet together and then kind of grow the program from there, so,
I'm all about it.
okay. Wonderful.
Any other training thoughts, Paul?
I would just say, just getting, like you said, having to help and stuff like that, and with the training, so everyone learns different, and it's finding, to me, I wanna help people succeed. So finding that training, we're not gonna do training that fits everybody all the same, but at least if our standards are the same, then that's, where we can go from there. And as long as we have a standard, and I really do like having hey, but they kind of meet those scenarios anyway, if you kind of think about it, when they're on there and we're shadowing them, they're answering all that call by themselves.
Right.
But we can always have a practical, to see what they know.
Yeah,
Exactly,
it's a different kind of pressure.
Right. So I think that's a good idea, and I think, coming up with it is great, So I think with any training that any of us can get, I'm all for. If we can send people and get it, I'm all for that.
And
It's very helpful.
there is actually one more thing. So I did talk to Ann when I was over there, and this is probably gonna be a board decision on whether or not we would like for somebody to do ride-alongs over in Summit County. During maybe their high peak times or whenever we would like to do that. The concern is that, their dispatchers get paid $5 more an hour, when they're training somebody. So, and they don't want to absorb that cost when they're actually training one of ours. So it would be some kind of agreement that we would have to come up with in order to be able to pay that additional. Now, their systems are different than ours, but the concept's still the same. So I don't know the value in that, other than being able to observe a more active dispatch center. And just hearing different perspectives and seeing what, like what you just said, everybody learns differently, right? So why, just limit it to ourselves where somebody else can maybe get
So
greater training for something.
when we have more people, I wanna send them actually to Pueblo. I know it's a bigger agency, but they use Flex.
Oh,
And Pitkin also uses Flex. So,
Pitkin
and Pueblo.
and Pueblo.
Yeah, and actually Flex was sending Pueblo's policy in that to me, I think, I have to find it, but sending their policy, so we're not reinventing policy for Flex. So just having.
Who's sending you that, Pueblo?
Yeah, they're getting it
Pueblo's
from
gonna send their
Pueblo
policy?
for Flex, so when we have time to send people down there, that's my goal, is to send people as to where they see Flex really being used. To me, I think that's beneficial, and I wanna go myself. I'm down there quite a bit, so just trying to make, time to get to their center and stuff.
Great.
I think all three paths are viable.
That's all I have, Sheriff.
Oh, no, it's really
Thanks,
exciting.
Paul.
Those are huge steps, guys. Alright, we'll move on to the E911 staff recruitment and retention. We have Director Grantham and Chief Trilka assigned to that work with Paula. How's it going, guys?
Well, we interviewed a candidate last week who did quite well. I she's been offered the job, she accepted. Her name is Mariana Hernandez. And I think she's a diamond in the rough. I think she's gonna be a great dispatcher. She was such a nice young lady, bilingual, who has some interesting experience, not dispatching experience, but I think she's gonna do well. So how many open positions do we have right now outside of the director's position?
I thought we were going for all 8.
Oh,
Right.
okay,
Yeah,
And
11 total.
another
11 total.
supervisor and director.
alrighty. Cause we got some more interviews coming up. 3 more?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
We need to hire 3 more?
No, we need to hire, right now we have 3.5.
Gotcha.
And Sarah got stolen by the sheriff's office, is that right?
No, Mara.
Mara,
Yeah, Sarah's part-time,
gotcha.
very, very part-time.
Mhm.
And then, I'm filling the gap for Mara. So, yeah, it's Mary, Daniela, and Martha.
And
I'm
Martha's
pretty-
fairly new.
Martha, I feel is very confident, I feel very confident that she is gonna be just fine.
And she sounds really good on the radio.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think there's, her phone skills, she has impressed me. I mean, there was a call that came in through the regular line, and it was attempted suicide with the hanging. Not once did she tell them, I'm new, I can't help you. She handled it. She says, someone's getting on the line. I mean, I was just like, I heard the call and I was just like, wow. I said, you did great. You gave them no indication you were new, that you didn't know what you were doing. You know, that you weren't, she was very confident in that. And I think that that's a skill, you know, to not break down and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, letting the person on the other end, you know, she handled it perfectly. And I was so impressed by that. And she's handled some other
And how long has she
calls.
been here?
She's been here since October 12th.
As long as me.
Yeah.
That was her start date. So, now in January she'll start her night shift. And I think night shift is good for newbies, cause it's not as hectic as days. And they have some time to reflect and to do more training and stuff like that.
Those are brutal hours, and they go
They
from
are
6
brutal.
to 6, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So if they need a
5 to
bathroom
5.
break, how do you handle that?
We will call the deputy on duty. But I think eventually the jail is gonna have night shift,
Yeah.
so.
It's part of our construction priorities, to see if we can incorporate a bathroom for them.
Cause I thought about that, when I was working New Year's Eve, I said, jeepers, you're in there for 12 hours. As I'm, every other hour, I'm using the restroom, I'm hitting these poor dispatchers.
Yeah. When does the new person start? You said Mary Ann?
So, she had her psych yesterday,
Oh, okay,
and so she's getting her physical.
okay.
So as soon as I get the psych back or whatever, then, so she just got a conditional offer. I'm hoping to start her on the 20th.
Okay.
And what's her name?
Mariana Hernandez,
Who do you use for physicals?
Dr. Lisa.
Okay, that's good, that's who the city used for me, I was impressed.
She was a very go-getter, Mariana. She was like, we asked her some scenarios, and Jeremiah was like, somebody told you, you talked to someone. And, she was like, no, she just jumped in and she did her research,
That's awesome. Came in prepared.
Yeah.
and I think that's a good thing to have, so.
Okay. And
Good notes.
anybody else in the pipeline right now?
I had one take a test, Alyssa Grego.
Okay.
So she did pass. So we're looking, and then we have the 2 from California still on the 12th and 13th, they're gonna be here. And they wanna sit in the dispatch center and do like a dispatch ride along, and I said, yeah, sure,
Okay.
for this, so.
What's the passing score for the written test, 70%?
Yeah. And then I have one more also.
Hmm.
Her name is Sharzi.
Hmm.
I'm not even gonna attempt the last name.
What does the written test consist of? Is it reading, writing, arithmetic?
Multitasking,
Uh-huh,
that one, yeah. No math,
okay,
prioritization.
okay.
If you guys wanna look at it, I can
Yeah,
always bring
yeah,
one
I'd
so you
be
guys can
curious
see,
to
to
see
see
it
what the test
sometime,
looks
yeah.
like. And it's dispatch related, so.
Gotcha. Is there a organization, this must be a standardized test that some
Yes.
organization puts out?
Yes, Stenard and Associates,
Gotcha,
they
okay.
do different ones.
We use them for
Dispatch,
jail and
yeah.
patrol.
I see,
Yeah.
okay.
Jeremiah, any other comments?
Nope, Chief Jucko summed it up pretty well, that interview did go well. I was impressed by her, and I think she'll do well. And like Paula said, we've got a couple in the pipeline, so hopefully we can get some positions filled here quickly.
Awesome, that's good news. How about on the retention front, how's everything feeling there?
You know, I think everybody is really wanting to be here and stay here.
Mhm.
And they all wanna help. They all wanna see dispatch grow and get better. So I feel good about it, you know, I guess with that being said too, I don't know what happened with like, if there's a test that we do have to take to get the increase for bilingual, or, cause I know I had it and stuff like that, but then it was said before that, no, we didn't have to take it, so I don't know where we're at
Okay.
with all that.
If they're bilingual, do they get more pay?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
there's,
CTO, and then if you have a degree.
mhm. And we talked about a night shift differential too.
Like, yes, that I think is huge.
Yeah, we can clean that
Okay.
up a little bit. There's quite a few programs out there that we can test people on. There's cost associated with most of the legitimate ones. And then we can create our own standards on what is acceptable to earn that. Doesn't necessarily have to be like an A+ rating. Something that's usable for us. They're not official translators, but the point of it is it helps us do the job. So if we have somebody who can work us through an emergency call, somebody who doesn't speak English, that's what we're looking for.
What would you think of, and I'm just throwing this out there, that we know that they're ESL? Would they still have to do a test? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think the policy is, when we discussed this at CLT a few months ago, I know the county's still working on their bilingual pay incentives. It's that you just have to take the test point blank. I would also think maybe from a liability perspective, like there is a certain standard that we need to meet or a certain rating on the test.
Yeah, cause how would you prove their ESL?
right, yeah, I think
Test.
having some standard would be key.
Mhm.
And it's also, to what level, the program will probably grow, I imagine, like if we start getting, becoming emergency medical dispatchers, that's where I think the liabilities can come in to play, where maybe they have to have a higher standard. But when we're taking somebody screaming on the phone, they're getting stabbed and you don't know what they're saying, like that's the bit where it's like, okay, yeah, this is helpful for us, let's incentivize that, and that's maybe a lower standard of passing. So maybe for now, we created an initial standard since we're not EMDs certified yet, or EFD certified yet, that, so just something to think about on that.
What's interesting is the way things are evolving. Within 5 years, AI could replace translators altogether. We're already seeing that technology out there, it's
Right.
amazing.
Mhm.
That is true. It's very difficult when you have somebody screaming on the phone and you're trying to connect them with the translator. That's
Right.
precious time.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly, and that's what, as that first call taker, that's what's more important than having a legal document in a translation for a case report or for prosecution. We don't need that level.
And of course up here, the language we deal with most often outside of English is Spanish,
Correct,
but there's different dialects.
correct.
How much difficulty is there between those dialects?
There's not much, but what I do find is that the standardized testing is so professional.
Mhm.
That's not what we're translating.
Right.
We're not translating those words.
Mhm.
So that's a thing, you know, also is that some of the words that they use, it's like the dispatchers don't even know that word because it's so professional.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
And
too,
that's the
Yeah.
hard part about it.
right, and that's why I think lowering, cause the tests I think are all revolving around that professional standard.
yeah,
You know, highly educated standard, and that we have to be able to speak more slang to get things across, and that's why I think maybe a lower standard, a lower score is more acceptable to say, yeah, you've earned the incentive.
yeah, cause that's what I found interesting with my staff, where English is their second language, cause I'll use a word and they'll say, chief, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's been enlightening,
Mhm.
and I don't use big words. Cause they confuse me.
The Wisconsin Spanish.
Wisconsin Spanish.
Yeah.
And I think
Polish
just to clarify my comments about like liability, like there have been documented case studies, and I'm not saying it would happen here, of people who like say they know Spanish or they know ASL, and it's led to some really embarrassing YouTube videos. So that's really what I'm trying to get at, like people can say anything, we just wanna make sure that it's legit, so I wanna make sure that standard reflects that they
100%.
can.
Yeah, and we've joked about that a little bit with like Kramer, we finally
But
said
if
a
you have an
Spanish.
O to everything.
Yeah, and he says he
And it
speaks
works.
Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
No.
No, there was a really publicized ASL case where there was an ASL translator who was up there just throwing their hands around, it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm trying to get at with my liability comment, like we can make
Yeah.
that standard what it needs to be, but I do think there needs to be a standard in place.
Yeah, I agree.
we need proof.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Well, let's put something into action there. Do you guys want to, go ahead and release Paula to say, find a test, do it tomorrow, like, I don't see a reason to hold this up. And, you know, we had something that we looked at on the SO side, but it's expensive, but it's awesome. Of course, you get what you pay for type of thing. You know, if this is a, you know,
I was hoping like CMC would say, yes, there's,
mhm,
their ESL down there would be like, yes, we would test you
mhm,
and do a class or something, you know? So
yeah,
maybe I might look into that. I don't know.
You can check with Zoe and Karina over in HR, cause the county did do a lot of work on
Did they?
this, so I know
Okay.
I know when Ally was still in HR, she had a whole program that she was planning to use, so they should have the records of that research.
Okay.
You can
Awesome.
also check with Anna Lee over in the Department of Human Services, she runs our interpreter network, she may have some resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah, and, yeah, I'd like to see movement, not to be pushy with it, but this has been a discussion for
It has.
multiple years now, and it's like, let's see some action out
And
of
we
this.
have the funds in there,
Right.
you know, so.
Sorry, Anna Lee may be on maternity leave, so if you wanna reach out to either Laura Cruz or Lauren Snyder, they might be able to help you too with that. I
Okay.
can't remember when she's due.
And add the undersheriff to that list to see the program that we looked at, to see if it's just.
I have that one,
Okay,
yeah. I was
Great.
just looking at how much it costs, but I do have that one.
okay, perfect. Awesome, thanks. Anything else on recruitment and retention? Alright, move on to policy. Director Hathaway, Director Grantham. on this
Jeremiah,
one.
do you wanna kick it off?
He's changing the oil in the.
Just with the holidays and everything, I have not made any movement on this. I didn't see anything come through about access to the systems or any,
That's what I needed to know,
okay,
because I have you guys set up on Frontline,
okay.
but I knew there was something that Chelsea had access to and I didn't know what, and since I was working nights, it was hard for me to have any, but I do plan on getting that and making sure that you guys have it. I did set you guys all up on my end, what I thought you needed,
Okay,
but yeah, I think I had to have that extra special privilege.
okay, yeah, I haven't seen anything come through with like login credentials or anything.
So hopefully by next week you guys will all get something.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else you wanna add to that to-do list? for policy?
I think
Or
that's just kind of where we
that?
left it off at the last work session, was that I just wanna start reviewing them and see what's in the system.
And I think I sent you guys something like in July or something like that, El Paso's.
Okay,
I sent all of you the policy that El Paso has
Mm.
for their communication center.
Yeah, El Paso's good about posting stuff publicly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
Jeremiah, do you have anything to add? That's it, sorry, that was a short one.
Alright, we'll move on to project management, myself and Jeremiah. On this one, I guess we can kick off the call works topic. This is what we've kind of identified as the problem with the phone lines going down. We had we have a reoccurring meeting with Motorola on this project that continues on, it's every other week now. So I wanted to put that out to everybody in this group, that we can send that invite out to everybody. This, this is a massive project, it was, $750,000 range. And it's transforming everything, it's bringing new radios, new equipment, new everything to us. And we're in the middle of the transition right now, we're dealing with the bugs, and this is a clear bug right now. And we had 0 issues with our phone lines, I don't recall ever having a problem. And then all of a sudden, CallWorks is installed and we have a problem. And so in the meeting yesterday, Motorola, essentially took that as, okay, we've talked to CenturyLink Lumen, we've talked to IT, Travis was on the call. And this is clearly a Motorola CallWorks issue. So and part of the holdup they had was not having an internet, they weren't able to remote in and try virtual attempts to fix this, or remote, I should say. So they're alerted to this, everybody on that entire call, and this is everybody involved in the process, from CallWorks to the radios to the software. This is the joint meeting, so I definitely encourage everyone to try to attend the next one. If anything, just to listen in, it's been educational for me, because there's a lot of technical stuff going on that I'm learning. But,
We can't all join,
okay,
because then it's an open meeting.
okay, good one.
You're thinking like an Olympic, that's good.
But it is, I don't know if this makes it an option or not, but it is recorded. Or it's
But
taking
then we would
notes
have-
at least.
We would have to post it publicly though, like
Gotcha,
we would
okay.
have to invite the public to come
Okay.
in and do a formal.
Okay, well, I think so we can at least have one other then.
Yeah, I mean, you can send out the recording, as
Okay.
if somebody attends and we send out the recording,
Okay,
that's
I'll send
all
out
good.
the notes.
Yeah, or send out, I think that's the best part, is to send out the notes, cause I won't have time to watch a recording, but I can definitely review the notes.
Well, I'll say this, since this is related to project management, I think having Jeremiah there would be beneficial.
Mhm.
And then him and I can, as the project management section, I think that would be fine, and we wouldn't have to do that, but okay.
I know I wasn't on there yesterday, but did they mention anything, cause we have a box that is orange, and it's staying orange, and it's one of the boxes, and I think that needs to be dealt with, and I think that's the issue. I showed it to Travis when he was here, and he goes,
Okay.
I definitely would have them look at this, he goes, that would be concerning for me,
Okay,
so,
send that to Pedro.
Pedro,
And who else? Lane, I would add Lane to it.
Pedro and Lane?
That should be, just those two, that'll be enough to
Okay.
get the ball rolling of what you found, cause they brought you up as part of the problem solver with, when you're going crazy that day, pressing buttons and flipping switches.
I just, what else could I do, like, but it came up.
But yeah. Okay, so we're making progress on the phone line thing. Any questions or concerns about the phone lines? I know it's a hot community topic right now too. Reliable lines not being reliable is not good. Alright, the other one, I'm gonna try my best on here, just now gaining an understanding, is the backhaul situation with connecting directly to our tower. And so, this is my rough understanding, is we're trying to direct line basically into the state DTRS system. Right now, we found the cheapest option is Grand Junction. And so we're using Lumen, which is CenturyLink. I'm just picking this up now.
No, that's good.
And some people say CenturyLink, some people, it's the same thing.
Yes, it is the same
So-
thing.
I'll just embarrass myself for the good of hopefully somebody else didn't make that connection either. So anyways, so yeah, so it's with them. So one question that pops up is how reliable is that connection? How often do their fiber lines go down? I haven't heard much. I don't know, maybe other people in this room might know. I've heard reliability issues with fiber lines with Lumen. I haven't. I think it seems like they're fairly reliable.
You know, we had it at Public Works and
Yeah,
we didn't have problems the whole time we had it.
and the courthouse has it here.
Okay,
And
and
the
that's through
airport.
CenturyLink, oh, okay. So that's what we have now to connect us to the state radio towers. We have the new one up at the cache, and one of the options to connect into the state system is to connect to that tower. And we essentially have two options. We have option one is to go with CenturyLink Lumen to cut a fiber line into the tower, it's pretty short, so, but that's a $10,000 installation fee. And then I'm sure permits and cutting and all that stuff. And then that was a $33-ish $100 a month payment due to Lumen to keep that service going. So it was a big expense. And then we compare that to running, tapping into Grand Junction, which is already established, it's easier to do, was $1,600 or $1,700 a month, so significantly less, no initial fee. The other option to connect to our tower is using a microwave set up on top of the courthouse. And then that, they were up there, earlier in the, year before snow really hit, or last year, I guess now, and line of sight would be fine, they saw the tower. So just having that was great. And it was before the leaves dropped, so they said even fully leafed trees, line of sight was good to go, they can do a microwave on the top of the courthouse. Problems with that. One, this building was built in 1955 or whatever, it's old, I don't, is the investment worth it? But the counter to that is the lifespan of these microwaves is 7 to 10 years. So that's not terrible. The maintenance cost on this is very low, but there is something to the maintenance cost. And let me pause for a second, take a note. I wanna email you guys these numbers so you're not, so you can look at the email that I received. So there's that option to connect. Now, what I'm finally understanding is our connection to Grand Junction is our primary and only connection to the state DTRS system. Obviously, they recommend a backup setup, which could be to our tower, should be to our tower. And so basically what we're looking at is we need both, and that was my misunderstanding. I thought that the connection to Grand Junction was our
Was not.
backup.
Oh, well, it says backhaul.
So that's, yeah, and not understanding what that meant, that's what I assumed. So what they've been trying to tell us is we need both. Alright, so,
Microwave and junction, or microwave or cache to that.
yeah, so junction or another Lumen connection to here. And then what we can do is decide which ones are primary and which ones are secondary. That one doesn't matter so much. So we have, the way it looks now, and I confirmed this with them, is that we would maintain our Grand Junction connection no matter what. But if we don't do anything with our tower here, we're gonna only have a single connection to the state DTRS system.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that's, yeah, it's not recommended, so if that goes down, then there's, now this is where my understanding varies, is like what exactly happens if that goes down? If we're just, I don't know how to explain that too well, they tried to explain it, I didn't gather it too well. So basically what I walked away with is the understanding that eventually we're gonna have to do something with it sooner the better, basically. They sent, the estimate to install the microwave, it's $100,000 roughly. plus whatever annual maintenance that pops up. They recommended we budget $10,500 a year for annual maintenance, but they don't really think that's something that, they're pretty reliable, they're low maintenance. But that was their recommendation. So the two options to have the redundancy built in are the $100,000 microwave install, or go with Lumen and request their fiber line direct connect to the tower, which is the $10,000 install fee plus $3,300 a month. So that's my gathering of the backhaul concerns. So it's obviously it's a project that we didn't budget for.
Isn't there one other option? Isn't there Grand Junction and microwave?
No, so
That's redundant, right?
no, Grand Junction's the primary right now, so that's
Yeah.
not a redundancy.
I know, but our microwave would be
Correct.
redundant.
Yeah, so we would need the microwave, which we didn't budget for. We didn't pay for.
But that's another option though, right? Junction and the microwave.
Junction, so it's junction and the microwave, or junction and fiber.
Yeah.
So one of those two. So both, the two options that we have are both related to this building's connection to a new tower. And then junction's gonna remain in place, no matter what. So junction, I wouldn't say is an option. It's something we already have set up, which I think
So
we're,
it's like junction, but then the redundancy would be here to the tower, or the microwave to the tower. That would be the redundancy.
So we would have to install fiber to the EOC tower and then either run fiber from the EOC tower to the courthouse or the microwave from the courthouse to the EOC tower.
That's the
one of those,
redundancy.
yeah. Yeah, and so it's like, a difference is it's a big one-time fee or a big monthly expense. And so year one, the cheaper option is Lumen. You know, it'll be whatever $3,300 a month times 12 is, plus the $10,000 install fee is gonna be cheaper than $100,000. But then we have to keep that up year after year after year after year, whereas the $100,000 is the big
The
one.
increases, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but $100K
Oh, one at
investment into
courthouse.
this building is pretty risky.
Yeah, and I would say it's a 10-year investment. So if we can, especially with the millions that they're about to pour into this building, I can imagine it's gonna last more than 10 years.
It's 39,600 a year,
Plus the 10,000, or what?
just the $3,300.
So you said 39,
39.
so 49,
49,600.
so like half the cost year one.
Right.
When does the construction start for
Don't know.
the redo?
Yeah, that's the other part, is timing that all.
So, I did tell them I don't think we can afford it in 2025, but in the budget for $100,000 microwave install. It makes the most sense to me to, you know, from a long-term standpoint. It's a cost savings over, I think after 2 years, the third year, we would see our money back.
I agree.
But we'd have to budget for it, we have to figure that out. I think it's gonna lead into some bigger discussions into 2025 for how our ETCs look in 2026. To help compensate for that.
Is there any like grant opportunity with the state for this, either through OPSC, DHSEN, literally any of them, like,
Probably, I would say.
yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any state support with this, I would encourage to look into that.
And later,
Gardner, for security,
We don't have enough money.
you spent it all.
No, we got reallocated.
You got cut.
I think grants a great idea. Does anybody feel the capacity to look into grants? Or
we have a
that's a little
county
much right now?
person,
Yeah, it's, I mean,
Catherine,
it just seems like a
right,
capacity
she
thing right
might.
now.
she might, at least if she has a contact
Okay,
person, you know. We can look at that.
100K for Homeland Security would be about a quarter of the grant.
yeah, that's,
At least we can't lose it.
so it's taken me a long time to understand that. Did I do okay? Do you guys feel
Yeah,
better
I think you
informed
did
on that?
great. Seems very complicated, but.
Yeah, very much so.
We have to have the backhaul though installed before we get the MC 7500s, which are we're planning at the end of this month.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
But we signed the contract with CenturyLink for the Grand Junction connection, right?
Right.
Isn't that the?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what we need,
Okay.
that we need that.
And that's about to happen, I think
Yeah.
that was a question I had for you. Do we have an ETA?
No, I need to get with Kristen, I believe her name is, and see where they're at. She was taking care of it. I have not seen an update, so that's my priority is that.
Okay, you
Because I
might have
know
to
we
push
need
it a little more. So in the meeting yesterday, I didn't take all the notes, it's cause she was rambling pretty fast and it was being documented, and I'll send it to you, but there's new dates. They're
Oh.
expecting radios to come, I think next week,
Oh, okay.
with their new install and training on it, getting one of the radios in your office for training. They're expecting a day and a half of training per dispatcher.
And that's sooner than the February date then?
Yeah,
Oh.
well, I think February, it rolls into February a little bit, I don't recall off the top of my head.
Okay,
But I'll send you that, so you have
Okay.
that, but keep an eye on it. Might have to push the Grand Junction thing harder.
okay.
Um,
Call it
and-
today.
the other thing is, we did pay for this dual setup. So we paid for it, meaning our systems are ready to receive it, but we need to set up a service to it. So that was, I think, part of my confusion and misunderstanding. I thought, thinking that we budgeted for everything, cause we paid for this dual input to the state DTRS system, but it's up to us to set up the service or the connection point, so that's where we're at.
And I think Jenna Lynn is the one who sets that up, so I'll be in contact with her
Okay,
and make sure that that gets done.
okay. Alright, I think that's all I have for project and stuff.
There is one other project.
Oh, I'm sure.
What I just found out.
Yeah.
So with this, we do not have a redundancy to keep dispatch going.
For the
Found that
internet,
out,
you're talking about the internet, right?
internet,
Okay,
we do not. Travis is coming up and he's gonna make everything to see how internet goes down. We have that redundancy to keep everything still moving instead of everything going down. He has, he's coming up with cost and everything for it. I didn't know this, I thought we always had the redundancy.
What are we paying Spectrum for then?
I don't know,
so we have a lot to think about.
exactly, that's what I thought too, I didn't know this until now, and Travis is like, no.
We
I
have no-
told you guys, and I'm like, well, I was never told.
We have no hardwired connection, we have, okay.
We have my Spectrum, it works,
Mhm.
but that's all it'll do is give us internet. That's it, it will not access any of our programs. Another thing is being out on the cloud. We don't need servers if we're out on the cloud. To me, that makes more sense, is it gonna cost money? Yes. But you can take that wherever you go.
That sounds like a firewall issue if we have internet, programs can't access it.
He even said also that we're connected to the state. I don't know why.
State what?
The state courts.
Oh.
It's kind of a mess. So he's looking into fixing all of these issues. There is a cost to it. You know, I don't know what that cost is yet. He's coming up with it,
Okay, he's
so
gonna
that's
give us
the
a quote.
thing. Yeah,
Okay.
give us a quote for that. I really feel like we really need to have that redundancy, and we need
Mhm.
an operability with everything, phones, everything that we have. We should never be down for any reason.
No, I agree with that, but along with that quote, I wanna know what we're paying for that we don't need to pay for, why are we paying for Spectrum if we
Right.
use it? So I think it's twofold, so I wanna invest in what gets us up and running, but I also wanna know what we're not using that we can stop paying
So
for.
he was here right before it went down to install whatever he needed into this room, but he didn't have access, so he couldn't. Yeah, I wasn't here, I don't know what happened.
Who's Travis?
Travis, our IT.
Mhm.
And so, and to be honest, Travis came up, I was talking to him all day on Tuesday night,
Mhm.
and he flew in on Wednesday from Texas to be here to fix this. You know, so he's dedicated, you know, he wants us up and running and he wants us, you know, to function and everything like that, so, yeah, he's mentioned a lot of things and I said, could you please put it on paper? Whatever you told me, put it on paper, and so everybody gets everything, you know, so the board has it. So he said he would and he'll send it, so that everyone knows what's going on and what's happening. So,
So it seems like we have Spectrum as a backup, but we have so many firewalls, VPNs set up to protect our information that Spectrum can't push through it, so it does seem kind of like, I think to Claire's point, like why do we even have this?
we need it for that redundancy, but he can set it up as to where it is redundant, cause right now
So it's just
it's not.
So we have it, but it just hasn't been set
Right,
up.
correctly, yes.
Okay.
At least we have an answer.
And I'm just like, why hasn't this been done? I thought it was done. But he goes, I don't know, and I said, it doesn't matter anyway,
Okay.
we just need it.
Yeah.
Something she just mentioned that I'll leave in your hands because you guys control of it.
Mm-hmm.
Access to that room the sheriff has, and he can designate whoever needs access to it. So I think right now the only people that have it is IT, the clerk and yourself.
Can we give that to a non-county employee? To like a vendor, a contractor, or no?
I think we have before,
Mm-hmm.
with the IT person.
Yeah, if we had like a third-party IT company, cause that's what we need, is if, so if they come up at, on a holiday or something like that, and they can't get in there, and he should have access, cause we have a key to the clerk's office and dispatch.
Right.
So he can at least get through there,
Right.
and then it's all video monitored anyway, so.
We can make a door card just for that to keep in dispatch if
We
you
can
want.
do that.
Okay.
Put it in there.
That way it's still secure.
And we have to vet them through anyway, our IT people, cause they're working with CBI, CCRC and
Right,
NCIC,
yeah.
so
You know, it's
Yeah.
just
they're all
the
vetted.
stuff that's in that room because there's state computers and stuff in there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and it might be worth, establishing some sort of agreement with them on that key, cause there's other things they shouldn't touch in there. If they're just the sheriff's office IT, we don't want them touching
Right.
county stuff. So we might have to, okay, we'll look into that. Alright, any other project stuff?
I don't know if it really fits under like the call works, admin issues, policy, I don't know where it fits.
Okay.
But I do just wanna bring up, like with the issues we have with the admin line, just the use of the Everbridge alerting system for that. We had a pretty classic case of over alerting in that instance, and I do just wanna call out that we lost, about 100 subscribers to our Everbridge alerts. So when I say that I want a policy on Everbridge, that I want us to be trained in it, when I write it in the improvement plan, it's specifically for conversations like this and instances like this. So I would like to move that project on just training, education and policy up to the forefront. Cause I'm really disappointed that we lost 100 subscribers.
What's the total number of so how many do we have right now?
That's hard to count because of the white pages. I haven't been able to sift through that data, but we got over 500 alone this year due to the interlocking fire. So now that's down to net 400. But in 2023, we got about 100 subscribers.
How did we
And that-
lose them again?
What?
I missed that first part. How did we lose 100?
100.
How did we?
The over alerting because of the admin phone lines, kind of the flip flop of they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. Every time we sent out one of those alerts, we had people unsubscribe because they felt over alerted. And part of that is because we did the full text, email, phone call. If we had maybe just done a text or maybe just done an email and limited that, but instead we did the full blast. So I had even county employees reaching out to me because county employees got it on their personal phones if they were signed up and their work phones.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was
The
knocking
people
at
that
the
were
door.
calling me too were like, they were asking how to get off of it anyway because they didn't live here anymore.
And that's fair, I think we do have to account for that, but we also had residents unsubscribed, which is disappointing.
That's how my council members were hearing about the phone
Yeah.
outage through Everbridge.
And
What does that cost us per year?
Just under $10,000.
what would you like to see in the training aspect of that?
I think we saw some issues during interlock-in and the search and rescue as well as how to send out an IPAWS and how to send out an emergency alert. But I think we also just need to work on more flowcharts of what is the criteria around sending out an emergency alert. Is there a time where we can just do the text and not the phone call or the email? And I had this conversation as well with some county staff around road closures, like the Highway 91 accident we saw the other day. They're like, well, can we send out an alert for the Highway 91 closure? And I said we could, but moving forward, I wanna know, when do we send those out? What is the criteria? Do we send them out at 2 AM if it's gonna be a 1 hour closure? I don't think so. But if it's a 4-hour closure at 8 AM on a Wednesday, maybe
And your options are text, email,
phone,
And
landline, and that's all dependent on what people sign up with as well. But yeah, I think just kind of also like going back to the interlock and improvement plan, like we saw these issues with Everbridge. I don't feel confident in how we use it and when we use it. And I just wanna make sure that we're all being trained to the same standard. And also we're using it appropriately.
I think if we come up with the policy and how to, then we can go into the training. That makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe look at El Paso's manual to see if they have something on their emergency alerting.
So sorry to go back to that, I don't know where that fits best.
I think
but
policy and training
Yeah,
feels appropriate.
so many methods of notification in this era, and society's fragmented, and, I mean, a good example is so many people rely on Facebook. I mean, I belong to 5 or 6 different groups, because
To alert you for things.
not to alert me, but it's interesting what you see on that, like the Highway 91 closure. It was all over Facebook,
Okay.
so it's interesting times we're in.
Alright, Jeremiah, you back with us?
That's the tires. He's changing tires.
Alright, move over, onto oversight and supervision. Myself, Chief Gailey. Do you have anything?
I had been engaged, man. I apologize.
Yeah, I felt the same way, so the only note I took on that is maybe you and I can set up, some sort of routine meeting with Paula. And just so we can stay engaged, just to discuss whatever. I think it'd be easy to lose sight of this one, given the fact that you're also covering shifts, you're all over the place. It's an important topic that we wanna not lose sight of, so I would be down for something like that, maybe every other week. Try to chop out an hour time with Paul.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm good with that.
okay, let's do that. Do you have any, like, on your mind
covering-
concerns?
I'm covering front end shifts,
Okay,
so that means anything every other Wednesday. Probably Thursdays are probably the better days for me. Thursday or Friday, but
cause you're
trying
working
to take,
shift,
I'm
yeah.
trying to take at least 2 days off.
Yeah. Okay,
To meet while you're on duty?
No, when I'm working, when I'm in the office, not dispatching.
how about when Sarah's here, is there gonna be any time when Sarah's here and you're here?
No, cause she's working nights and then she can only do weekends.
Okay,
Paula was in there New Year's Eve at 6 PM. I mean, New Year's Day,
Yeah.
all night.
okay,
And I know Thursdays are kinda crazy too. Every day is crazy, I don't know.
okay. We can probably do something every other week that's not,
Said Fridays would be good.
Thursdays, I think would be best.
Thursday would be best.
Like every other Thursday, not on a Motorola Thursday.
okay, the opposite.
Yeah. Or every other Wednesday that I don't have to work.
Yeah.
In dispatch, Wednesday or Thursday.
Do you like that better? Being it's a longer weekend, you get 3 days off
Yeah, some,
uninterrupted.
and to be honest, I need 3 days.
Yeah. So maybe
I'm
the,
tired.
maybe you're, well, we can still try to be creative to do it while you're already on shift as best as we can. But we know how hard that is. If you're the only dispatcher, calls
It is.
constantly come in, it's almost impossible, really.
It is.
So unless we have somebody to relieve you for an hour. Okay.
I can see, and if that's the case, then, you know, Daniela is always willing to come in on her day off, just to cover like that, if that's something that we need, you know, she's pretty good about it. It's easier for her than for Mary who works nights, 'cause nights,
Yeah,
it's just harder. So,
okay, we'll connect with you and set something up.
okay. back to the, sorry. For the staff and all that, I haven't seen anybody apply for the supervisor position.
Is it supposed to?
And, director, is that going out sometime soon?
I have not received any feedback on the job description.
Yeah, remind me on our timing, a rough timing expectation on that, on when we're wanting, it was after the new year, but was it in January we talked about? Sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think we talked about posting it in the new year, just after the holidays and everything, with the
Okay.
hope of doing kind of just getting people out here when the weather made that look super pretty.
It's pretty now.
Yeah, when you get into a 10 car pileup on Highway 91.
Yeah. Okay, so we need feedback on the job description, then we're ready to post it. Like ASAP, because I think I saw in our meeting notes from last time that we were gonna talk about re-engaging in a contract with, next meeting for a March start time. Yeah, so that's next month. So, okay. Do you guys think you can get to that by the end of next week?
Yep.
Put eyes on it? And then
Yep.
Feedback, yeah.
on the job description? Okay. Alright. Paul, anything else from the supervision standpoint that you need help with, scheduling? Been doing a great job with juggling all that, so don't hesitate to ask for help, but anything else on your mind?
No, not offhand. Getting off the nights is probably gonna help me
Yeah.
tremendously.
Yeah.
That was, it was rough,
Yeah,
to say the least,
yeah, that
trying
was,
to do things.
Yeah.
So, picking up at least days, at least I'm here and I can hear more feedback and, can handle more things, but, thank goodness that Mary wanted to go, she said she would take nights, so that was a lot, and that's why I really wanna push the incentive for the night shift differential,
Okay.
cause it's a lot,
okay,
Is there a proposed incentive for the night shift right now?
just a discussion at this point, so it's something we can add to.
Let's add on, let's put it on the next agenda.
Okay, and I would entertain this as a thought, is this something that we need to vote on? We've established
Yes.
a incentive pool that already has, I guess the question is, do we need to get into the weeds of what is on the incentive? What we use, like right now, we've already talked about Spanish speaking, degrees and being a trainer, and then we're talking about adding that in.
I think this is probably a priority over the others. So if we can discuss it and come to a conclusion, then let's get it rolling. I mean, we're in the new year.
yeah, I would like to see it
Okay,
signed
so,
in later.
I do think it needs to be discussed and voted on.
okay, so maybe the entire incentive
Package.
pool should be a discussion and vote
Okay.
on what percentages for each
Gotcha.
one.
Alright,
Okay, so I think then, I like that, because there's been a lot of question on how and what, and I think we need to make that official.
gotcha, okay.
Was there any, COLA this year?
Yes,
I didn't know.
yeah, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, I know I was trying to prepare for that, going into the next item, talking about the budget, which we can just roll right into now. That part of our budget included that, and I don't recall what the percentage is off the top of my head, I didn't get that far this morning, so. But there's an expected COLA. And I guess what we can do, what's that?
It was 4.5. Or not total, but in total, where I attend.
Yeah, with the steps and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, we can, if you guys wanna bring that whole, the whole pay structure right now. I think that's good for this COLA, the step program. When we do those raises, I think that should be because it's the sheriff's office program that we just threw over there. And it hasn't been something we've discussed, honestly, it's just been, we're still so new, it's just, we adopted that, but now I think we need to bring this into a board's decision item. And we can mold it to, obviously, what we have to, what was budgeted for. Okay. From the budget standpoint, I think, I talked to Claire a little bit about this, the fund transfer to the general fund for the county needs to happen pretty soon while the year's over. And I don't know when the county expects to like close out the 2024 budget. Does anybody know off the top of their head?
Usually, yeah, it's usually like the second week.
In February? Okay. Cause we haven't transferred over our portion of the new radios, or the $15,000, that we budgeted for to pay the county for the services the county provides us when it comes to finance and, HR and whatnot. So we have we should probably do this sooner than later.
And I sent that email to Candace yesterday to sit down and talk with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she write that?
Yeah.
So with that, Claire brings up some really good points here about some of our concerns that if we're paying the county, for some general government operations. The big holdup right now is the, 2023 audit. 2023 audit hasn't been completed yet. And so the concern is if we're paying for the service, we're not getting it. And then the other thought is, well, we do receive those services, constantly through payroll. That's something that we have, access to HR also. So thoughts on how to manage that. It's a 2024 budgeted expense. We haven't removed it, we haven't transferred it over. We have about a month left to make a decision on what we're doing with that. Is it a decision item or do we just do it? Do we have that?
Where'd they have with the audit?
I heard it was supposed to be done 2 weeks ago. Before that, 2 weeks ago,
I
so.
asked today.
And also just to add more color to it, like we got penalized, but like we now have like a check against us because that audit isn't done. So it's not just that like they didn't do it and we're not paying, it's like we are now, like we're not gonna lose any of our revenues, but it is a check on our permanent record that the audit wasn't done. But the only revenues that are withheld are property tax revenues, but our ETCs are not affected.
Yeah, I think this is just my thoughts, that if we're going to not pay it because we're not receiving the full services that we're paying for, I think that needs to probably be a discussion with our attorney. Are we gonna push this to a decisionary item that requires a vote of not paying the county until this is done, and then, amending our 2025 budget? Pushing that 15 grand over to 2025, or do we just pay it?
Can we pay a portion of it?
That's what I would like to do.
Okay. I mean, we give them 10,000 and withhold 5, or?
And I think the larger kind of conversation around this general fund payment is that we don't really know like how much is weighted, right? So we pay for IT, we pay for, well, minimal IT, payroll, human resources, sorry, this audit and everything. How much is each worth, and is 15 really a fair number? So I think that's another conversation as well.
So like, we could be paying more or less.
I think so, this number kind of was just pulled out.
Yeah, cause if it's a whole lot less, then they could be like, whoa, you could pay him 30.
We also have control over our employees' payroll. So they're not paid for anything, that kind of, what does that look like? Well, we're not doing your payroll anymore. I don't know, maybe an email to the attorneys to see what their thoughts are.
Was that already agreed upon? Did you sign something saying that that was gonna be,
The IGA has that called out, that will pay the county for services.
and that 15,000 was agreed upon, the IGA?
Not in the IGA.
No.
The 15,000 was not named, just an amount.
An amount, but not a amount.
It seems like a tough project to me to figure out, how do we quantify that amount?
Yeah.
To say, oh, we pay the county, you know, whatever, 15,000 or $22,327.87, you know, like how do we come to that? I mean, at this point, the county was happy with it, and we said, okay, too. That's about as far as it went from a technical standpoint.
And also that 15,000 was a negotiated amount, the original was 20. And we negotiated that down to 15.
And my IGA is 25,000 for administrative services.
That's big to the city.
For the city and the county to split, for,
But it probably involves more personnel, huh?
not really,
No?
no, human resources, Crystal. That's about it.
Are you saying
Nearby.
fire person?
Yeah, more fire personnel than telecommunication
Oh,
personnel.
yeah.
Okay,
In that regard, yes.
gotcha.
It's a little more work. Seems,
So 15,000 seems like it's in the ballpark.
Yeah, that's,
So you figure what, for 11 employees, you're splitting that 15,000, what would that be? Like 1,000 something each employee is what we're getting?
okay, we'll push through the transfer for the Motorola equipment, which was 137 or something, 138,000. And then that was something we budgeted for, the money hasn't left our account yet to go towards the general fund, we can do that.
And we also have a journal entry that needs to be fixed, cause we were charged $237.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, so journal entry on that, okay. From the budget standpoint, the other thing I had was billing for events. We have the Leadville Race Series, and they're really the only one that talks about using dispatchers. Again, another sheriff's office form that was transferred over to request that. We also need to talk to probably the city too, who does your events stuff?
Andrew
Oh
Cummins.
man, yeah, we're talking about that right now.
Andrew Cummins.
Andrew.
Yep.
So if there's in your permit form with the county one, there's somebody's requesting to host an event in our community, there's a portion that says, do you want extra cops, do you want extra dispatchers, like what do you want? So if there's a request for extra dispatchers for like the race series, to have somebody in the cash or 2 dispatchers when we're planning for that, this is, it's not a big ticket item, but it's a revenue source that we'd like to work on, so I think you have that form. So we can look into that, see what needs to be changed, and try to get that ready for 2025, and we can talk to Marla here and the city to make sure that that's part of their checklist, is to request extra dispatchers if it's a big event rolling through.
The city's revamping their entire special events process right now, and one thing they're talking about is billing for events. I think generally now, if you're a nonprofit, they waive it, but they're a nonprofit, I mean, some nonprofits hold events and they are making money because it's a fundraiser, so they're trying to figure out, okay, what's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can talk about that too, about what we charge, so
Yeah, cause I
On
think
the
there should
same
be
page.
consistency between
consistency, yeah.
agencies.
Mhm.
The budget, can I get the real budget
The
and not what's
what?
online? A copy of what our real budget is,
Yeah.
not what's online?
Mhm. Yeah, send that to me.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, you on? Alright, from the names that are on these different, whatever you wanna call them, task force here with these different items, I think it feels appropriate to have you involved in the budget conversation as the treasurer. And you're doing a lot of that treasury stuff, but to have more of a direct connection with the budget. So I was, something I was hoping to talk with Jeremiah today too, is to see if you wanna swap you guys out. If you feel you have the capacity for it, I think you're already doing it.
We can have that conversation offline.
Yeah, that's all I had on budget. Unless anybody else had any questions for me?
I will just add, so I did submit our budget to DOLA earlier in December. I submitted the exact same thing, I submitted them in 2024 for our 2024 budget, or in 2020, yeah, anyway. It was the same reviewer actually that reviewed our last year's budget, and this year she rejected our budget and said she wanted more information. So that was fascinating. So either way, I drafted the more information she wants, Sheriff just reviewed it this morning, so that'll get resubmitted, hopefully in the next few days here, still in compliance with deadlines and all of that. But sorry for the delay on that, I submitted it early December and they just bounced it back to me on like the 30th, but that is in progress.
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
When I saw it was the same reviewer, I almost threw my computer. Maybe someone called her out, I don't know.
Right, like you need more than this.
Yeah.
And that's part of our discussion with Candace.
No.
Right, maybe we should bring that into the mix of what Paula saw publicly and why it's not matching.
I can say that we are not the only department that's having this issues. There's,
Which is fine, I
there's a
just
larger
want
issue.
the real one.
Yeah, I'll send you the real one.
Alright, anything else, guys? Before we
Just a
move on?
reminder that, like first, that day with 91 being closed and then that incident on, Lake Fork, the county is not responsible for the CDOT roads. So calling us to sand does not do any good.
That was the direction we got,
From who?
call you.
We heard that too.
From
Yeah,
who?
we're going CDOT, but,
Yeah,
Well, we,
like a deputy made that request?
well,
fire,
Oh, okay.
Fire should have contacted or requested CDOT, not
Cause
Public
three
Works.
machines.
exactly, but I
This
just
is
want
nice.
everybody to remember,
Budget.
This conversation needs to be taken offline, just in respect to the
Yeah.
agenda.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll move on to minutes, reports and bills. First and only item is the minutes from November 21st, 2024.
The motion?
Second. Alright, so I'll move to approve the minutes from November 21st, 2024.
Second.
We'll get this down. I promise. One of these days.
Do it
Alright,
faster.
any further discussion? Alright, hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, next meeting we have set for February 7th, 2025 at 10 a.m.
I will not be here for that, it's my birthday.
Oh, okay.
We can bring a cake.
It's okay. There's some tradition with firefighters, ice cream or something, I think, on your birthday.
Firefighters will eat
Steak, I
anything.
don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, Jeremiah, unless you have anything else, I'm gonna kick it off.